Hello everybody and welcome back to Planet Coaster 2 and welcome back to something a little bit different. The new Toybox DLC came out today and I thought it'd be fun just to kind of go through all the pieces, all the new pieces and see what we've got, see what it's like, see what kind of stuff we've got to work with. So yeah, without much further ado, let's crack on. Okay, so I'm probably not going to include every single piece that I place down because some of them are just going to be inherently less interesting to me. Or at least they'll be less obvious what they might be useful for. These little cardboard, what are they called? Cardboard roofs are kind of interesting. I'll be able to make some interesting shapes with those. Kind of a slightly corrugated vibe. Generally what we're looking for is anything that gives us like detail for free basically. Whoa, that is absolutely ginormous. I love the texture, but it is absolutely huge. It does have this kind of, I mean it's cardboard, so obviously it would have these little ridges where all of these corrugations are kind of stuck to the outer sheet here. So that does make sense, but it makes it slightly less, it kind of pigeonholes it a little bit texturally because you've got these stripes on it that you need to account for. What else have we got? We've got a circle, and we've got a circle wobbly, love that. I guess the edge of these is actually kind of nice as like a sort of corrugated metal, potentially, you know, for like the edge of a roof structure. Okay, next up we've got these Toy City skyscraper pieces. These are quite nice. This corrugated background on these I think is quite nice. Not exactly sure what you would use this for, to be honest. This is quite a cool piece. Yeah, I don't know, I like these. Clock hands. Ball. Okay, so this is just like a little dome, a little textured dome. Give it kind of a patinaed colour. Could be a dome, maybe? I guess it's not really that different to using an art shape. It's got a slightly different texture on it, it's shinier, and it's got these kind of scratches. See, I like this block. How small does it go? 20%. See, if that could go down to 10%, we'd really be cooking. Because this could be like a really nice, like a detail on a facade or something. We've also got this one, which is just like the top half. The facade or a top of a column or something. Yeah, just a shame that it can't go smaller than that. Oh well. Little hexagon. That's quite nice. I don't think we've got any hexagons in the art shapes at the moment, so if you're looking to add a hexagonal detail somewhere at the moment, you'd have to build it out of 6 flat pieces kind of rotated around. So I sort of welcome anything like this that's giving us this kind of free detail, although again, you know, as always, I'd love to just be able to make it slightly smaller. Yeah, you know, we can start getting some cool sort of column designs going maybe. Okay, what's this? Ooh, this is kind of nice. Immediately it looks like a kind of a queue pole thing, you know, that you'd have like a rope or a chain attached to. Like that. It scales down pretty nicely as well. And if you want it to be even thin, oh, how far does it go? 20. So you could also just have 2 of them like this. I like that. Cone. It's a cone. Although again, oh, that goes nice and small, look at that. Now we're talking. Yeah, again, you know, if you were just to say that this was a column, you could potentially, you know, you've got a nice shape there, make these both the same colour, and you're sort of cooking. Something like that. Cooking with columns. And then we've got a triangle as well, that's nice. Okay. Then we've got some more I-beams. I mean, we've basically already got these in the game. Obviously they don't have these little kind of connectors on the ends, and they've probably got slightly different textures than the ones we've got already, but yeah. These are kind of neat. I don't know. This little one's cool. We built a little like brick wall with these. They're looking like they might be quite shiny. Yeah, I don't know about those. They're very shiny, so you could use them as individual bricks, but obviously they're not that small. And because of how shiny they are, you need to be working in a very specific kind of vibe. More of these kind of free details here. Again, to me it's like, oh, this looks like it could be like a fire alarm like housing. Obviously it's just way too big. It's like the size of her head. That's fun. Okay. Yet again. I mean, this thing, it literally is like a column, part of a column. Like I keep saying, little things like this are just always going to be really useful. Clay balls. Clay ball! What is going on here? There's like a weird texture seam or something. These are clay balls. It can't be denied. Yeah, these are so specific that it's kind of difficult to see what else they could possibly be used for? I like this one. This one kind of looks like a seat or something. Hold up. Hold up now. Could this be something? Pushchair seat or something like that? Okay, what else have we got here? This could be like a stalactite or stalagmite if you're building like a little cave system. I guess all of these could potentially work as like fake rocks if you can kind of get them looking right. Then maybe they're not quite angular enough. This one in particular as well has kind of a, I don't know if you remember the like Flintstones land at Alton Towers, but it kind of reminds me a bit of that. Okay, maybe these could be cool actually, because these ones also look a little bit like vertebra. Build like a big spine or something out of them. Okay, yeah, look, now you could say this is like a big skeleton. Okay, maybe these are better than I thought they were. Okay, what else have we got? Crayon? I mean, it's a crayon. That can't be denied. Could also be a bollard, maybe? These both the same, basically. Yeah, they've just got slightly different tops. If you buried this into like a shop counter, it could look like a little fedora. You know, for all your guests who want to buy fedoras. This is kind of, I really like the detail on the cap of this. We do have that as a separate piece. No, it doesn't go very small. See, if that could just go a little bit smaller, that could be really nice kind of detailing on a column or something. I guess if you're making a wider column, there's more of these as well. Oh, this one goes smaller than this one. What's that all about? I guess they're just different sizes at the start. Sorry, this is just turning into like column watch 2025. This is kind of cool. Alright, I missed some things. What's this? Glue spreader. Looks a bit like an oar. Okay, what we got here? Lolly stick. I mean, this immediately to me just looks like a kind of a sign. The background for a sign or something. Yeah, I think that's kind of nice. Yeah, I think that's cool. I like that. And I'm sure you could use that like kind of oblong with the rounded ends for lots of other stuff. Ball? Marble, not a ball. Okay, I mean, this is just a sphere with a cool texture on it. Kind of like it. Sort of looks like a planet, like a swirling gas giant or whatever. These are interesting. Is that something? Not really. Sort of looks like a moustache. Oh, you can't recolor the metal. That's kind of a bummer. And the label has a completely different texture, so you can't make it look uniform either. Okay. This is kind of cool. And it doesn't go very small. I was going to say it could be kind of a cool like fence post or an architectural detail. You know, if you're building kind of a funky, cartoony building, it would make kind of a cool column shape. Again, I know everything is just columns basically. Brush head. I feel like this brush texture could be useful. Not sure what for. What we got here? Oh yeah, yet another potential column. And again, well, this is a cool shape. The metallic shader that they're using occasionally looks a little bit funky. I don't know if it's like something to do with DLSS or whatever, but it's just so, it's like simultaneously shiny but not reflective. I don't know. Got the little turd. It's undeniable. Paint for, oh, this is like a little paint thing. Oh yeah, they do look like that when you buy a new paint set, don't they? I mean, again, that's just like a nice kind of, you know, along the top of a facade or something. On top of our column watch. This is also kind of cool. Oh, if that could go like really small, obviously with the scaling mod you could make this absolutely tiny, but this would be a perfect like button. This is a bit like the thing that I just made, except it's oriented slightly differently. But again, it looks like a kind of a generic or a sci-fi-ish or sort of like 70s or 80s facade detail, maybe? What we got here? Palette tab. This is nice. Tell you what. That's a roof shingle if ever I've seen one. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, big fan of that. It's still quite large, maybe? Love it if I could just make it a tiny bit smaller. Big fan of that. Right, what have we got here? More of this kind of greebly detail. Again, this could be free kind of facade, moulding, fascia kind of detail. More columns. Everything's a column really, if you think about it. You know, in the order of life, everything descends from columns. This is a cool detail down here as well. You know what that's looking like to me? A cool column base. Everything's a column. These pen lids are really cool, actually. Big fan of these. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Again, I know that this is ridiculous at this point, but... Okay, you get the point. These things all look like columns. Column fans, stay winning. This pencil would work well with these hexagonal caps. Pencil ferrule. Okay. Again, this is a cool thing. It kind of looks like an oil drum, you know? Am I crazy? Oil drum or a keg. Got the rubber. If we make this all one colour, it's kind of just a nice primitive shape. Yeah. I'm into that in a big way. That is a yo-yo. Looks like a hamburger bun. You know? Could use that for like a sign on a burger stand or something. Like Frontier took the feedback on the previous doors to heart, because these are actually like human-sized doors. If anything, a little bit on the small side. It's kind of a cool backstage door in the middle here. These are obviously like styled and proportioned in a very cartoony way, but I mean it could still work in a backstage area if you want like a low detail, low effort way to dress up a warehouse or something. These are kind of cool, but some of the details are just kind of a little bit too exaggerated to be broadly useful. I feel like these hands totally work as like, you know, some kind of like, something like that. It's kind of cool. More hats. I mean, again, you could put these in a shop if you're really trying to like fill out the shelves in a shop with some different stuff. Yeah, I really feel like these like leg and arm pieces could have potential uses just because they have really interesting shapes. This looks like a little seat, you know, or a toilet. Obviously it doesn't have a hole in it, but it does kind of look a bit like a bidet or something. I mean, these are so specifically shaped that it's difficult to see what you would use them for other than that, but they're not flat on one side. I was going to say it could be an interesting like castle wall or something. Box clip. Ooh, hello. Now we're talking. I'm envisaging a bright future for you. Box clip. Add that to my favourites. This little box small also. I mean, come on. Obviously it's very shiny, but that is a brick. If ever I've seen a straight up brick, you need a shiny brick for something. Or a tile. It could make a really nice like kitchen tile, or these kind of vertical rectangular tiles are very trendy these days in kitchens and bathrooms. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, there's some really nice little detail-y bits here. I could see this being super useful as a kind of, again, as a kind of structural element. And once again, these are just neat sort of column details. Oh yes. Column lovers stay winning. Right, what's this? Plastic piece cube. That's quite small actually, isn't it? Oh, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Oh, and there's a one with a round edge as well. Be a really nice roof shingle. Obviously these have all got a really shiny texture on them, so their usefulness is going to be somewhat limited by that. This one feels a bit more obviously sci-fi-ish, but if you like building columns, you're going to love this pack. This is quite a cool piece in general, and it goes quite small. Could make a nice cup or something, maybe? Maybe not, maybe it's like a tub of cotton candy floss, or popcorn or something. This is, I think the proportions of this are slightly too exaggerated for it to be a generic cue post, but it does almost look like that with the ball on top. Sadly, if you scale it down to a more appropriate sort of size, it's obviously way too short. Yeah, I mean, it's still quite cool. It could work as part of a sort of fence running along the top of a facade or something, you know. And again, you know, these are pipes, but let's be real. They're actually column bases. Quite a few of these new pipe pieces. These are quite cool. Don't mind these. These are nice. I like these. Don't make me say it. They've all got this kind of like, or a lot of them anyway, have this kind of slightly sci-fi-ish, or it's like the kind of pop architecture you see in shopping malls in the 90s, and you see it in theme parks a lot. You know, like the entrance to an arcade or something fun. Yeah, all of these sort of wing pieces and stuff. Again, they're just nice little kind of sci-fi greebles. Same with this wing as well. Goes nice and small. You sort of flip it around like this, and it's kind of in the same world as this stuff here. You know, before you know it, you've got a cool sort of 70s sci-fi facade going. This could be fun for a sort of googie, you know, like a googie kind of pillar holding up a roof awning structure or something maybe. I guess same with this one as well, actually. You can imagine it like with a, you know, with a roof on top of it. So it's kind of a nice piece just on its own. It's more greebling if you're decorating a sci-fi building out. Also looks a bit like a toaster. There's the full robot. Then we've got the head. It sort of looks like a boombox stereo. Then we've got the new text. I don't super need to say much about that. It's text. And then there's more decals, or stickers as they're calling them now. We've got Masked Bandit. More eyes to put on things. Eyes are always useful. Put eyes on anything, can't you really? These are kind of fun. They're very specifically styled, so I think some of them are definitely going to be more useful than others. Oh, Bandit, you shouldn't have. That's so nice. I could see some of this stuff being really useful for kind of like cheap dark rides, where it's constructed, you know, mainly using flats rather than fully kind of three-dimensional sets. I could see that being really, some of this stuff being really good for that. Obviously, especially if it's leaning into a sort of children's theme. Some of some of these might be really useful for just doing like generic stuff. Is that a double line sticker? What do you mean double line sticker? I only see one line. I guess these are like road markings maybe? Did they forget to add the second line? Oh, hazard strip. Nice. Yeah, some of these are almost really useful. Like this would be so great for making little like first aid kits on the wall, but I just know that this is way too big for most realistic use cases. Actual road signs. Yeah, I mean, these are great. Anything more stuff like this is just very welcome. Circular one could be like looks a bit like a Dr. Pepper or a Pepsi logo or something. Oh, these are windows now, okay. I mean, that's quite a cool piece just in general. These are cute. Proportions are so exaggerated that they're going to be difficult to use them in other kind of themes, but a couple of these, like this one and this one over here especially, just could totally work just as like generic windows. Yeah, then there's these animal cutouts. Masked Bandit again. And then the wooden block pieces. Okay, these are actually not too bad. I thought they were going to be much larger than they are. Definitely some really nice little shapes in here. They recolor very nicely. By now we all know and understand that these look like columns. Yeah, these are great. And there's lots of interesting shapes that we don't have in the art shapes. Like we've got a trapezium. Obviously there's these kind of tapered cylinders. We've got different types of triangle. Yes, please. These ones are supposed to be cars, I guess, but they're kind of fun shapes. Like these could be little clouds, stylized clouds maybe. This just looks like a sort of generic detail piece. Or a number one. Again, this could be some sort of moulding detail or something on a facade. Oh, this is a cool little piece. A little wheel. Is that fully recolorable? It is. And we've got this fence, which I guess you can hide the pencils if you want it to just be a normal fence. It looks as though you can't recolor the wood strips along the back, so it kind of is what it is. You could sort of bury it into a flat surface like this. Grab that colour and apply it to all of these. Yeah, we get this kind of modernist Art Deco facade detail. Can this be flipped over, or are they not equally spaced? Oh, they're not equally spaced, are they? No. That's so sad. Okay, but you could do something like this, and then, you know, if you had an overhang or something, you might be able to bury the bottom of them in it like that. Now, they're calling this Toybox Light Beacon, but I don't know. To me, it kind of looks like a column base. Everything's a column. Again, column base. Okay, this one less convincingly a column base. Just go nice and small though. Obviously it looks like a gutter piece. We do already have gutters in the game, so not super useful for that. Spotlight megaphone. Spotlight step. These are quite nice little detail-y pieces. Obviously, this one in particular is a column. This thing, that could hold 3 columns. This bad boy could fit so many columns in it. This is another awning, I think, technically, but again, it just kind of looks like a cool sort of sci-fi greebling piece. This fence piece is kind of cool. Just looks like one of those sort of portable plastic barriers that you see. They're filled with like water or sand, you know. Adam's screen. Does this... Oh, this is a text screen. Oh, we do have a new font. Sunshiny. Interesting. That's kind of cool. Little keychain. That's nice. How small does that go? Hey, nice. What's this? Oh, it's a key ring. You could sort of stack these to get quite a nice sort of ribbed tube if you're building some ducting or something. That is a memo. They're not lying. I think that is like so specific. I guess it kind of looks like cheese. If we take our burger from earlier, scale it up. Hey, that's quite cool. And then we've got the cardboard wall set. As I was saying at the start, I think this is sort of so specific. I'm really interested to see if anyone comes up with an interesting way to use this that's not building a cardboard building. Because that's what it looks like. At the bottom here we've got some effects. Oh, I love that. It's like when you see those effects that are made with a sort of very light fabric that's being agitated by a fan. That's so cool. So can we scale this now? No. Okay. Sound effect. Ah, stars. That's so cool. Yeah, I love that. What's this one? Coloured stars. That's cute. Okay. I think that's everything. I think, obviously I didn't place down every piece here, so this isn't every single piece, but you get the general gist. I think if you like detailing facades and fascias, there's loads of interesting, you know, pieces for mouldings, and I mean, if you like columns, this pack's a no-brainer. I think we can all safely agree on that. Yeah, there's loads of cool little detail pieces. Obviously, some of the pieces are very niche and will be less flexible. Even then, I'm sure there'll be people who will find interesting ways to use those particular pieces. Yeah, overall, early impressions, I think it's got lots of great pieces. I think it's very niche. I wish we could scale stuff smaller, as always. And in fact, I wish we could scale stuff bigger. There's some pieces where you want to make them really big and you can't make them as big as you'd like to. And almost all pieces can't go as small as I would like. Overall, you know, the quality of the textures and the modelling that we're getting in this game is great. I love it. And yeah, overall, I'm looking forward to trying to incorporate this stuff into some builds. Thanks for stopping by if you checked out the video today, and I will catch you next time. Bye!